Democrats and their allies in the media are salivating at nationwide congressional town hall protests against Donald Trump and Elon Musk. But there's just one problem. Here's how MSNBC covered one of the town hall confrontations.
On camera as reporters go to some of these town halls, including in places like Georgia, where I'll bring you into this next story. Republican lawmaker Rich McCormick faced an angry crowd during a town hall in his Georgia district last night. Many of his constituents lashed out at him for his support of those massive federal layoffs and budget cuts by the Trump administration and Elon Musk's Doge. Atlanta Journal-Constitution reporter and NBC News contributor Greg Bluestein attended the town hall and captured these events as they unfolded.
CDC workers working on the bird flu being fired by Doge and then having to be rehired when someone realized, oh gosh, we need those people. Why is a supposedly conservative party taking such a radical and extremist and sloppy approach to this?
A lot of the work they do is duplicitous with AI. Once again, one of the problems we have. I happen to be a doctor, I know a few things. So if we continue to grow the size of government and we can't afford it, it's going to have shortfalls in your Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, and other things that we can't afford, guys. We have to make some decisions. Understanding is when you say you have this many employees that you have to cut, that organization decides who they're going to cut. Now, they may make
Now, this didn't just happen in Georgia. It's happening in red districts all across the country, from Colorado to Virginia, North Carolina to California. Here's another example from Idaho.
And because you're not smart enough to know that, and eventually what's going to happen is everything's going to settle down, and we'll get back to you.
This isn't excuse me, Sheriff Norris. This gentleman is assaulting me.
You out
this
now.
Man is assaulting
you out
me.
now. Let's go.
It's become pretty clear, based on Democrat reaction on social media, as well as media coverage, that they're trying to recreate the magic and the organic reality of the Tea Party movement under Barack Obama. But there's just one problem. All of this appears to be fake. It all appears to be organized. CBS unintentionally gave away the game with this article. They published, GOP lawmakers confronted by constituents angry with Trump-Musk cuts. So within the article, they talked about one specific person, Maggie Goldman, who lives in Roswell's district, told CBS News that she helped organize some of the people who attended the town hall, adding that many were not supporters of Mr. Trump. So you'll notice that the article specifically mentions Roswell. Well, here's where things get interesting. Rich McCormick, whose town hall MSNBC and CNN covered because of all the protests, doesn't represent Roswell at all. He represents Georgia District 7. So I created this graphic to make it really visually easy to understand what's going on here. Rich McCormick represents everything shaded yellow. That's District 7. Maggie Goldman, who organized protests and got people to attend the town hall, lives in Alpharetta, Georgia, which is where the star is. And Alpharetta isn't part of District 7. It's part of the Roswell district, which I put in that red rectangle. So she lives in a completely different city from where the town hall is, let alone a completely different district. Yet she got protesters and angry voters to attend Rich McCormick's town hall. Pretty interesting, huh? And it's not just from that CBS article. She actually bragged about this on Facebook from her Facebook page, Maggie Goldman. Headlines from the McCormick Town Hall last night. We were really on fire. Fire emoji. Here are my raw videos. A little bit more of the back and forth is captured here. And you can see she posts a lot of those headlines. She's really proud of it. Just to confirm, as you can see by the world icon next to her name, this is a public post. So it's not as if I went to her private personal Facebook account. And on top of that, she is a public figure. She actually ran for Fulton County Commissioner as a Democrat. This is her campaign page, Meet Maggie Goldman. So yeah, she is a Democrat. And according to her LinkedIn, she even worked as a volunteer coordinator from July 2019 to March 2020 for Pete Buttigieg's primary campaign. So if all these town hall protests are being organized, if they're being astroturfed, that raises the question, who's organizing, who's orchestrating all of this? Well, Representative Lisa McClain has more information.
Last week, videos of protesters yelling at members of Congress went viral, right? But the content focused on the confrontation, not the why. Some of the people that hijacked those town halls are happy with the bloated status quo. They want the bloated status quo to continue. They don't want to get our country back on track. And to make matters worse, even the DNC chair openly suggested that the outrage at the town halls across the country was orchestrated.
Okay, orchestrated, but by who? To find out, all we have to do is look at Minnesota. According to this post, Congressman Tom Emmer was supposed to have a town hall in Monticello tonight. One of my relatives went and it was packed full of angry constituents. And guess what? He didn't show up. I wonder why. What a coward. There's just one problem with that claim. There was no such Tom Emmer town hall. It was all fake. And I have the receipts to prove it. This supposed town hall was set up by Indivisible True North. Now, you'll notice that the meeting's address is private, which, when you have a town hall, usually you want to publicize that to your constituents. So the private address was red flag number 1. And then below that, you see Representative Emmer has been invited to a town hall meeting on Wednesday, February 26. Usually, when a congressman holds a town hall, they invite their constituents to come. It's not the constituents who invite them. So this organization created a town hall without the approval of the congressman, and then they invited him. And when he didn't show up, they had the audacity to claim that he didn't come to his own town hall, which I just showed you wasn't his town hall. It was their town hall. This is all AstroTurf. This is all staged because they're trying to create momentum. Like I said earlier, they're trying to create their own version of the Tea Party movement. Now, it's not just Indivisible True North. Move On, who many of you may be familiar with, Move On released this press release. Move On announces, Congress works for us, not Musk, recess actions to hold lawmakers accountable. And if we zoom in here, as reported in the Associated Press, Move On Civic Action today announced a nationwide Congress works for us, not Musk mobilization during the upcoming congressional recess. And then throughout the article, they name all of these districts that they're targeting, and lo and behold, all of that matches up with where we were seeing protests, where the media was covering all of this. As if that's not bad enough, a 2018 article from the Associated Press reveals and confirms that George Soros funds movements to disrupt communities. And within this article, guess what? It mentions both of those organizations, Indivisible True North and Move On. And in case that's not good enough, Wikipedia also confirms that George Soros has donated at least $5 million to Move On and over $15.5 million overall. And just in case that's not enough, an Associated Press article published just within the last week confirms the anti-Musk protest movement is expected to ramp up with Congress on recess. And yes, this very article references both Indivisible True North as well as Move On. So it's very clear that the Democrats are astroturfing this entire movement. They're trying to create an illusion of resistance. It's very different from 2017. And even in 2017, the Democrat Party was behind the Women's March, which was supposedly organic, but there was definitely big money behind that. This isn't like the Tea Party movement from under Barack Obama. That was a true grassroots movement. The reality is the Democrat Party is listless right now. There's no momentum, and the resistance is faltering. They're having a very difficult time gaining any sort of traction, and it's because the Democrats don't have an alternative vision. They don't have alternative solutions to Donald Trump and Elon Musk. All they have is complaining. All they have is whining and screaming that the sky is falling, which, hey, clue to you guys, you can only scream the sky is falling so many times before people wake up and realize, oh, nope, it's still there. You guys are full of it. Now, most of us should have been able to see this. Some of you may have saw right through it immediately because the public polling shows something different. And I know people say, Daniel, ignore the polls. Daniel, the polls aren't real. Well, I like citing the polls because even if the data is manipulated, even if the polls are left-leaning, my perspective is if they always underrepresent Trump supporters, then you know that the reality is always better. So if there's a pro-Trump poll, if there's a poll that shows Trump above the water, then you know reality is probably a lot better than that. And ever since Trump was elected, ever since he was inaugurated, his polling numbers are the highest they've ever been throughout his entire political career. They're certainly higher than they were during his first term. They're higher than they were between 2020 and 2024. And now, I mean, they're at historic highs. This is confirmed by CNN, Harvard Harris. Virtually every single major reputable poll shows that Trump is more popular than he's ever been. And it's not just the polls, even focus groups are showing this. According to Axios, Arizona swing voters to Trump Musk keep it coming. So Axios tracked 11 voters from 2020. Those 11 voters all voted for Joe Biden then, and they voted for Donald Trump in 2024. And 11 out of 11 approve of what Donald Trump is doing. In other words, out of those voters who switched from Biden, I get it's a small sample, but he has 100% approval rate. Now, 8 out of those 11 approve of what Doge is doing. So when you take a look at the polls, when you take a look at the focus groups, it doesn't jive with what we're seeing from these town halls. And it's very clear to me that the media and the Democrats, they're trying to create this illusion. They're trying to sell it. And their hope is that, hey, if we can just throw a few sparks out there, maybe we can create a wildfire, maybe we can create a movement. But hey, Democrats, when you play with fire, that's when you get burnt. As always, though, all of that is just my analysis and commentary. That is what's going on in the world of politics from my point of view, and I would love to hear from you. So, question of the day. Specifically, this question is for people who voted for Trump for the first time, or voted for Biden and then voted for Trump, or Democrats who voted for Trump. Or heck, I know there are a lot of viewers on my channel who voted for Trump this last year, and it was their first time voting period. So, obviously, anyone can leave comments on my channel, and you can leave your opinions, obviously, at any time down below, even if you've voted Republican every single time. But because of what the polls are showing and because of that Axios focus group, I'm interested because I know I have a lot of viewers who are either new to the Republican Party, new to Trump, first-time voters. So if you are in that demographic, can you let me know, and then let me know what you think about Doge and Elon Musk. Are you happy about it? Is it just right? Is it that perfect bowl of porridge from the fairy tale? Do you wish that Musk and Doge would slow down and be more methodical, or do you agree with what Kevin O'Leary said? I covered that in a previous video where he said, I wish Doge would cut deeper, harder, faster. Like, where are you on all of that? Obviously, like I said, anyone can participate in the comments section. But like I said, I do know I have a lot of first time or new Trump supporters. And specifically, I would love to hear from you guys. Since you're so new to the tent and the movement, I'd love to see where you're at with everything going on. If you haven't already, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. I know it's a simple thing to ask for, but it really does help me reach more viewers like you in the algorithm. Be sure to smash that subscribe button and to check out one of these videos.